Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Cocktails and Conversations with Adriana LaFay. I have the beautiful Charessa Sawyer with us today. How you doing?
I'm doing well. You got a glass. I got a cup.
That's okay. If I could have put it in a red cup, I would have.
Right. I am doing well. Thank you so much for having me. Super excited.
Oh, you are so welcome. You guys, if you don't know, Charessa Sawyer is a certified event planning professional that offers personal event coaching, event processing, event producing, and therapeutic resources for event industry professionals. In addition to event planning, Charessa provides key therapeutic strategies and resources to support event industry professionals through her event therapy network. Charessa is also the author of Event Therapy, 10 Steps to Ultimate Event Planning. And so that's what we wanted to talk to her about today, because she also recently launched the highly anticipated magazine, Event Therapy Magazine, yay, focusing on 3 pillars: mental and physical health, business and financial security, and social networking and relationship building in the events and entertainment industry. So we wanted to talk to her about the top 5 publishing tips. Like, first and foremost, what made you decide to get into magazine?
Oh, wow. So the magazine is the reason why I wanted to start a magazine is because I wanted to reach more people. And of course, through books and through magazines and through any type of media outlet, you're able to really broaden your touch. And the magazine gave me the opportunity to do that, to have people to read about event therapy or read about mental health. And I don't even know them. I don't have to, call them on the phone. So the magazine gave me that outlet to be able to touch more people with the information that we're sharing. So that's really why I got into the magazine.
Awesome. And so your book, Event Therapy, 10 Steps to Ultimate Event Planning, how did that come about?
First of all, it took me forever to do this. So that was my first book, Event Therapy, 10 Steps to Ultimate Event Planner. And as you mentioned in my bio, I am an event producer, but my background is also in therapeutic services and mental health. Like, that's what I got educated in and all of that. And I was scared. I was scared to write a book. I was scared to, are people going to listen to me, the event planner? Like, do I know enough? There's so many event producers out there. There's so many planners out there. What makes me, why do people want to listen to my steps? The things that I'm talking about doing. But my client, who I'm also her client, she pushed me, my event planner client pushed me to just get it out there. Just get it out there. So I did that. I really faced my own fears by writing that book and telling people what the steps are that I took and what steps. Because you never know who could be supported. And so from there, I'm like, okay, that wasn't so bad. It wasn't that bad. It feels good, actually, and that's how I want people to feel. I want people to feel good. So, so that's kind of how that got started with the 10 Steps to Ultimate Event Planning.
Awesome. And so can you give us a few publishing tips that you've come across along the way?
Oh, well, the first one the first one that comes to mind is confidence. So people may not necessarily think about that because they're like, well, you got to get a publisher, you got to find, money and all this other stuff. But I first say that you have to find confidence, which is what I found. In, what are you actually publishing? Why are you publishing it? When is it the good time to publish it? And, all that who, what, when, where, how, and, all of those things. So I would say the first will be to find that confidence in you being an author or publishing a book, a magazine or journal, whatever it is that you're doing. Once you find that confidence in that, then yes, I think we need to start thinking about the other areas of, making sure that your book is edited. Who's going to do that? Making sure that you have a list of to-dos. I'm a to-do chick. So, my confidence is good. Okay, we good with it. So now what's my to-do list? My to-do list is, am I going to self-publish or am I going to have someone to support me in publishing my book? If I am, how much is it going to cost me to do so? Can I budget that? How do I write?
Right.
Do they come with an editor? Making sure that you have your book edited, because honey, you don't want to have a book and you have a bunch of everything going on. You know, you want people to be able to understand what you're saying and what you're trying to convey to your audience. You never know who's going to pick it up. So you want to make sure you have an editor for grammar, but also who's going to be that person to set up your book, to set it up, to design it. How is it going to be laid out? Because we know we live in a world right now that people only have 8 seconds to pay attention to you. And if you ain't got nothing to say, honey, like we don't care no more. So it's so much of how is your book going to be laid out? Are you some things bolded? Are you going to have a photo? Are you going to have some italics here and there? Like, what are you going to do to keep the people engaged outside of the words that you're putting on the page?
Exactly.
And as an event designer, event planner, I'm thinking about those things even in my books. You know, I'm thinking about those things. So, you know, I would say those two right there, and we can talk a little bit more, but those two, your confidence and getting your editor and understanding how that process works, I think are just two of the top ones I think that we should be paying
attention
to.
I agree with you. I just sat down with an editor, the Book Savant, the other day, and we had a long talk about just that editing. And when I tell you that she opened my eyes to so many things that I did not realize, you know, not just the, like you said, the grammar part of it, but she broke it down to like the comprehensive editing and not just the grammar, but the, you know, the detail. Does it flow right? Like, does it mesh with everything? And then she also mentioned too about, you know, getting sample edits from like multiple editors, because some editors don't mesh well with you. And like, so a lot of people might say, oh, I don't want an editor because they're going to take away from me. But she said it's not necessarily that they're a bad editor. They just might not mesh with your personality or with what you're trying to say. So, you know, it's good to check with different ones to get one that meshed. I was like, duh. Why is that not?
I totally agree with that, because you have to understand, like, you have to make sure you have someone that understands your voice.
Right.
And so if your voice is happy, bubbly, you know, all that stuff, and if someone comes and they so prim and prop and they don't understand that, then obviously that could feel like they're taking away what you're trying to do or what you're trying to convey. So, you know, I think that's very important in, you know, getting samples and then choosing one that can understand your voice,
right.
You know, for your book.
I agree. And so with that confidence, do you feel like somebody can work through, like, say they don't have all the confidence there, but then maybe they have enough to say, okay, I'm going to do this, but then kind of like I've heard somebody say work through your fear. Do you think that's kind of the hand in hand, like with the confidence as well?
Yeah, that's how I got my first book out. Okay. I was scared. Sometimes we get in a place where we're thinking too deep. We're thinking about what other people have to say. We're thinking about how they're going to receive you. We're thinking about so many other things. So you're just really nervous. You're scared. You're fearful of what you don't know, right? We start creating stories about what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And so you have to be able to push through those and even change the narrative of the story that you're telling yourself. And that's going to be important for any person who's trying to write. I don't care if this is your 3rd book or your 4th book. You want to make sure that you are creating a story that is positive as you take that journey to become an author or to become whatever it is that you're seeking to become, magazine editor, whatever, because it's going to take that, because it is scary. I mean, at the end of the day, you do understand, and we do understand that when you write a book, here's my book. When I write this book, at the end of the day, and my little picture is on there, I am tied to this book. And so whatever is in here, people, whether we want to say this word or not, they're going to judge what you say. Right. And that's okay. So you have to get to that place where it's okay. Everybody's not going to like all the steps that I put on here. They're not going to all agree with them, maybe. I hope you do. Right. But if you don't. Right. Somebody will. Somebody did. They purchased it. Somebody did. And so you have to get through that fear. So I just say you have to push forward. And that's with anything. That's books or not. It's everything. We just have to push through that fear that we feel.
Yeah, I totally agree. If someone wanted to start a magazine, like publishing a magazine, what would be the best tips you have for that?
Pray.
Always.
Oh my goodness. This is so, I'm so excited about this magazine. So we published our first one in January. Mm-hmm. And so I'm laughing with the pray thing, but it's such a great answer because with any book, with any journey, with any whatever, magazine or whatever, you run into situations, you run into potholes and challenges and walls and all types of stuff. And you have to be okay with that and understand that that's what's going to happen, right? But you have to be able to pray through it, just like we were just talking about fear going through it. You have to pray through it. So if you're looking to, become a magazine publisher, I would say one is to understand that it's not something that you want to do by yourself. Okay. It's not something that you really want to do by yourself because you want to be able to see the eyes of other people. And it goes back to what I said with people not having an attention span. Our magazine is called Event Therapy Magazine. So for us, I knew it's going to be unique. I knew the topic can sound boring because if you hear therapy, who wants to talk about your feelings all the time, right? So you have to be creative with the magazine because you want people to see it. And one of my ways of being creative, and I'm going to show it to you, but one of the ways of being creative is simply making sure I have lots of color in the magazine. Yeah. Whereas in other magazines, maybe you may see a bunch of white pages and beautiful pictures, but their pages are white. For me, I want to get your feeling. I want you to feel something with everything that I do. So all of the pages are colorful. So I would say you want to think strategically about what your magazine is about and how it is going to convey to your audience. Who's your target pop? My target population is the event and entertainment industry. Everything I do at this point is really those people and, really focusing on the thing that people don't talk about, mental health, right? And business health and all those things. So you want to know your target population. You want to have a strategic plan and an understanding that magazines don't always flip or turn into gold right away. And that's why I also say pray. It costs to do.
Okay.
So it's an investment. It's an investment. So you want to make sure that you understand that and have a plan and have other people around you who can help you to execute that strategic plan for the magazine.
So you need a team, basically. It's not something you should be trying to do by yourself.
No, I mean, you can start it by yourself. I always say start it by yourself. You're the brainchild behind it. Mm-hmm. But I think it's important for you to have a team or at least another person that's working with you on pulling it together, because it's just like the book. You have to have an editor. You have to have or think about your design. Right. You have to have a graphic designer. You have to have someone who can make sure that you're not publishing somebody else's work without giving them credit and get sued. Okay. Sure. So, these are things that you want to think about. And then how are you going to make money from a magazine? It's 2021. This is a digital age. Yeah. So is it going to be a digital magazine or is it going to be a print magazine? Is it going to be both? How often are you going to, I'm saying these things because at first I really didn't think about a lot of that stuff. In the beginning, I just wanted to spread the word.
Right.
And so when people started to say, oh, I love what you're doing, blah, blah, blah. I want print. I want this. I'm like, okay, so how do I do subscription? Like, I need to find somebody who know how to do this stuff. Right. So I want to learn things about the magazine, but I also prefer to have people in a team who know what they're doing and who know how to do it, because I can't be talking about less stress in the magazine and be stressed out.
Right, exactly.
be stressed all out. So yeah, I think being strategic, making sure that you have a plan, and that prayer is a part of that plan. I think it's going to be very important, and have all those other things that we've already talked about, like editor and your graphic designer, your mission or your purpose behind the magazine, all of that. How often are you going to do it? So having that plan of action ready to go.
Yeah, those are some great points. How would you recommend going about finding an editor or a graphic designer, or how would you recommend going about building your team?
Oh gosh, and I'm still doing that. So as I talk about it, just sharing some of the things that I've done. Okay. And so in regards to my editor, my cousin is an editor. So I was like, hey sis, I need you on this, right? And so of course she doesn't have a whole lot of time, but she believes in the mission, so she was able to jump in. However, I am looking to find a more full-time editor that can be a part of the team. But right now she's doing the work and we're killing it when it comes to that. When it comes to graphic designer, so that's always a hard one because there's so many graphic designers out there, and I don't know, I know you do flyers and you have your flyers posted, and sometimes if you don't do it yourself, it can take a while,
right,
for the stuff to come back to you. Yeah, I love y'all. I really do love you guys. I really do. But it's the truth.
It is.
It's just what it is.
Yeah.
So what I did was, I went to Upwork.
Okay.
There's Upwork, there's Fiverr, there's Freelancer, and all of these different ones. Mm-hmm. So I went to Upwork and I crossed my fingers. I prayed. It's a part of the strategic plan, right? Mm-hmm. And I said, I have a lot of graphic designers around me that work on other stuff, but I need someone who can be dedicated to this magazine and will get my vision. Right. So I went on work. I worked with someone and I first tested him out by having him to do other little small tasks. Mm-hmm. And I saw that he understood me and we can talk, and it was financially acceptable. Okay. For the moment. And so I went through Upwork, and now we work together. Like, we produced the first magazine and now we're working on the second issue, and I'm super excited. It looks absolutely amazing. He gets me, So I would say look into some of those resources out there, like Upwork and Fiverr I've used before, but not for the magazine. Freelancer, I use them to help me with copy. Okay. And then of course you do your interviews. You want to make sure that you know what you want, mm-hmm. that you know what you want, because you have to make sure, because they're following your lead, and that's something I missed in the beginning. Like, I knew what but I wasn't able to communicate really what I want. So you have to make sure that you put that in your plan of action of knowing what you want and knowing how to communicate that with whoever is going to be working on your team, because that's going to be important with maintaining a team.
Right. I agree. All great tips.
Listen, I have a book on that. A book is, for event planning, like how to, a glimpse into a kick-ass event planning team, because, with the pandemic that came about, we didn't have any work. We had no work. There was no events that were going on. Everything that I was doing was virtual. A lot of my team members, they couldn't do anything with me because it's virtual. So it's like, how do I maintain my team during a time like this? Right. I don't want them to go straight off because they need to find money somewhere else. I need to be able to do something to keep them a part of this wagon. So we wrote a book together. So when you talk about how to build your team for the magazine or books or whatever, think about, for me, what can we do together as a team where they now feel vested in the project. Right. And so we wrote a book together, and that's what it's called. How to build a kick-ass team. So it's a glimpse into that, and they're still here. So
that's awesome. Yeah, that COVID, it threw everyone for a loop, having to pivot and decide what's going to be a necessity and what can we get by with, and just making people think about things you never had to think about before, and that's where that multiple streams of income really make a difference. And I mean, that's a different subject for a different day, but yeah, I completely get it.
But that's real. Just, I mean, it was crazy. It still is crazy.
It is, yeah.
It still is crazy.
Most definitely. I appreciate your tips today. Those are awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So if the listeners want to reach out to you and connect with you, how can they do that?
Well, I'm such a social media butterfly, so you can definitely find me on social media. And I forgot this tip, which was market your book.
Okay.
So if you talk about social media, we say, if you're putting a book out there, I don't care what it is, the magazine out there, you have to market it. You have to put it out there, not just social media, find other ways. So, if you go to my social media page, my personal page is I am Charessa. If you go to that page, you're going to see at some point in time that book or something, right, about it. But my other page, I have so many pages, y'all. Oh my God. But my other page is at Event Therapy Network. So if you go to at Event Therapy Network, you will also catch me there. So that is one of the quickest ways. The other way is obviously to go to our website. I just give you one here. If you go to our website, eventtherapynetwork.com, you can click around. You can see the books that we have, the event therapy book. You can also see the magazine. Here's the magazine. I said I'll show it to you. I got all types of notes in this one. But so this is the first magazine that we have. And remember, I told you about color. So it's color all through the magazine.
Right.
It's very we wanted to make sure we were using, it's just a lot of colors. So it's just, people want to read because they can see. So that's the book, right? Market your book. You see in my own magazine, I'm marketing my book. So, and there's another one.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah. So, it's very colorful, but you can find me, go to eventtherapynetwork.com. From there, you can get to the magazine website. You can get to also my event planning website. And also, if you want any of the books, if you want any of the services or whatever, you can definitely find those on that website, or simply send me a DM on social media. I do answer those. I know other people don't all the time, but I do. I answer my social media messages if they make sense.
If they make sense, exactly.
Let me add that part to it. But yeah, if they make sense. So yeah, that's how you can find me. If you need coaching for it's called event therapy coaching or event processing, you can definitely connect with me that way as well. So yeah.
Awesome.
For sure.
And just real quick, what is event processing? What does that entail?
So in our industry, event planning, or not even event planning, the event industry itself is one of the top ranked for most stressful, most, just most stressful industries that you could be in. And oftentimes we find ourselves always trying to put a smile on the faces of our clients, while our smile is really upside down from the inside. Okay. So what we do is we allow venting sessions, which allow you as an event professional or entertainment professional. You do not have to be an event planner. You can be a caterer, you could be a DJ, you could be a publicist, whomever you are. We'll allow you to contact us so that you can really get those things out. And so we can then process those feelings behind it so that you don't lose the joy for the profession that you say that you love, right? Because you can't, because it's fast-paced, it's high stress and all of that. So we allow you to talk and process it all, and then give you strategies, therapeutic strategies that you can utilize to help you to reduce that stress and still be happy and content in the industry that you've chosen.
That's awesome. Basically, so giving people an outlet, that's awesome.
Yeah, give you an outlet. We have the Event Therapy Lounge, where that lounge is actually going to turn into a YouTube show. So super excited about that. But that lounge allows people to come in as well to talk. If Joseph is going through this, and Caitlin is going through this, and Amanda is going through this, that y'all may be able to support each other with those things. So, just me being in therapy, my background, group sessions, I learned that we when we support each other and we learn from each other, we can grow even more, you know? So Event Therapy Lounge will allow you to vent, allow you to share, but also I don't want you venting and then going home and being like, all right, I got that out, but then you still don't have any strategies behind it.
Right.
We have to give you the strategies behind it so that you can then work through it and then work with your clients as well. I give my clients the homework, you know, I'm talking about my event clients, because they come in with the stress, right? So they put that on you. And I'm like, baby, oh, so you having some anxiety? Oh, well, let me give you this worksheet. Let's work through this together. So because if you're not stressed, then I'm not stressed.
Right.
These are just tools and resources that I've used in business that I also can share with my colleagues to help them to be a little bit more, supported in this profession. So that's what that is.
That's cool. That's so cool. I can talk to you all day. But guys, follow her on social media, check out her website. You got some great tips today, and we will sit down again, have another conversation. Like I said, I can talk to her all day long. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to give us some tips today, Charissa. You have a wonderful day. And guys, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, share. All right, that's a wrap. See you next time.
Thank you so much.